buzzing going on in my headset. So this is the Stanley Parable. I've played it before, but I really liked it. And I am trying out recording my game sessions, so we'll see how this goes. One thing I always thought was kind of cool was, this is your monitor, but then it also shows up on the monitor, on the monitor, on the monitor, and it actually goes pretty far down. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, and there's kind of 4th one in there. But let's see how this goes. I had previously recorded something, but I needed to change my video settings, and when I did, it wouldn't let me back in the game, so that was kind of weird. But let's try it again. Hopefully my neighbor doesn't ride his motorcycle around too much, because I'm sure that's going to pop up. And it seems to be loading faster than one too, so I guess it actually likes having
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
better video settings.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427.
I did in the previous
Employee
recording,
number
so
427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. Stanley was happy.
Show up and do what they tell you, and eventually you get paid.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say
Stanley
hi.
Would have noticed
Never in all his years at the company had this happened.
Nobody there.
This complete isolation.
Completely empty.
Something was very clearly wrong.
But I guess not.
Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Alright, so normal. Okay. Sorry, like I said, it's been a while since I played this. I just couldn't remember what the things are. Now, I know if you don't leave, the narrator says something, and it's kind of funny. Alright, whatever. We'll do it next time.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
I can't read that. Oh, I gotta click it to turn it off. I always wondered if there was something, like if you turned everything off, if it would do something, but I don't know.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Alright, for now we're just gonna listen to him. I know you can make a run through this really fast, so. Oh look, meeting room.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
Yeah.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
How to solve dispute with a coworker. Let it ball up inside you. Take it out passive-aggressively. Resent coworkers for not supporting you more. I feel like there should have been a tangent going off of the let it ball up inside you, where you eventually go completely ballistic and start beating the crap out of somebody. But that probably wouldn't be good to show in an office. Everyone is unique. You most of all. Alright, hold on. Numbers. Number of slides on this slide. Charts, charts and slides. Alright, that's weird. Have I ever... I don't know.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
For the couple run-throughs of this game I've done, I honestly don't think I ever
There
went
was nothing
there's a
here.
broom closet.
No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
Let's see if you'll say something else.
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
What does FA stand for?
Are you really still in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing? Why? Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused. You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never would have thought to mention it. Maybe to you this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friends, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favorite." I hope your friends find this concerning.
It's purposely messing it up. Okay.
Stanley was fat and ugly and really, really stupid. He probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers. Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard. Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. He or she has fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place at the computer, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway. Ah, second player. It's good to have you on board. I guarantee you can't do any worse than the person who came before you. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Yeah, why not? I'll listen to him this time. No, locked. Screw you, I didn't want to use the bathroom anyways. What's over here? Nothing. Okay.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. and so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845.
All right,
But of course,
2845.
Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by
Because
sheer
you told
luck.
me.
Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Oh, it's over here. Seriously though, how does anybody reach books way up that high? Because I don't see a ladder anywhere in here. Alright. Oh look, it was all fake. Notice the lack of enthusiasm in my voice. Oh no, I didn't know what was happening.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
But I kind of want to escape. Sorry, I've been watching a lot of Finding Dory because of my almost 2-year-old son. Like, almost every morning at 5:30 in the morning, he wakes me up and wants to watch fish. And that is Finding Dory, so we're gonna escape.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death. The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Yeah, why not? And it wasn't a endless hallway like I thought. Sure. Did I die? Nope, loading. Like I said, it's been a while since I've played this game, so not entirely sure.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, it reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. So he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Or not. Alright, there's boxes blocking my way that way. And the Stanley Parable.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Obviously, this blueprint shows the office from the beginning of the game. The path from Stanley's office to the two doors was the first part of the game that was built. Sections have been added and altered throughout development, though the core layout remains almost identical to the first iteration. So you start there, and then it leads you to that room, around there, around here, and boom, the decision. Corridor. The pacing of this opening section was important to get right. This corridor has been moved and altered to make sure the player reaches two doors in a good time. So it's not too long, but not too short. The two doors. The set of two open doors was the very first concrete piece of the Stanley Parable's design. Once this room was created, the rest of the game emerged as an extension of it, an exploration of the contradiction this room posed. Oh, I was hitting the wrong button. Those are doors. Those are button sounds. Computers. Oh, yay. Yeah, this is like the credits area. It's like museum. It's got all the people involved in making, and then it's got, you know, different stuff about the game all throughout. Warzone. More stuff over there. I'll do a lot more exploring later. I think my son might have just woken up, and since he knows how to open doors, I may have to go check on him. But I'm gonna, yep, there's the ending. So and here is the exit.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let time...
Yeah, I died. Oh, I literally have to hit escape and then quit. Because it just sits there, I think. I don't know, this game is one of those ones where it's like, are you sure you have to do that? Or is it literally just going to sit at a black screen until you actually do? So, quit to menu. Alright, I'm gonna exit out now, so this will be like my first video that I will put up on my channel, because I gotta go check to see if my son woke up. So thank you all, and I'll figure out some cool, you know, sign off tagline thing later. So it's been fun.